The Copernican Theory. First, from Nicolaus Copernicus's On the Revolutions of the Celestial Orbs, 1543. Book 1 of On the Revolutions gives a brief general account of the heliocentric universe. In the following extract, Copernicus first considers the diurnal rotation of the Earth and suggests that the Earth would not fly to pieces under the action of the centrifugal force caused by its rotation, because its motion is natural and not forced. He then explains how the Earth, with the Moon, revolves around the Sun, together with the rest of the planets, whose distances from the Sun must be in the order of their periods of revolution. Saturn, with a period of 30 years, is furthest away from the Sun, and Mercury, with a period of 80 days, is nearest. The Sun, in the centre, is described as the ruler of the universe. If then, says Ptolemy, Earth moves at least with a diurnal rotation, the result must be the reverse of that described above, i.e. that terrestrial elements move in straight lines up and down. For the motion must be of excessive rapidity, since in 24 hours it must impart a complete rotation of the Earth. Now, things rotating very rapidly resist cohesion, or, if united, are apt to disperse, unless firmly held together. Ptolemy therefore says that Earth would have been dissipated long ago, and, which is the height of absurdity, would have destroyed the heavens themselves. And certainly all living creatures and other heavy bodies, free to move, could not have remained on its surface, but must have been shaken off. Neither could falling objects reach their appointed place vertically beneath, since in the meantime the Earth would have moved swiftly from under them. Moreover, clouds and everything in the air would continually move westward. The insufficiency of these arguments and their refutation. For these and like reasons, they say that Earth surely rests at the centre of the universe. Now, if one should say that the Earth moves, that is as much as to say that the motion is natural, not forced, and things which happen according to nature produce the opposite effects to those due to force. Things subject to any force, gradual or sudden, must be disintegrated, and cannot long exist, but natural processes, being adapted to their purpose, work smoothly. Idle, therefore, is the fear of Ptolemy that Earth and all thereon would be disintegrated by a natural rotation, a thing far different from an artificial act. Why then hesitate to grant Earth that power of motion natural to its shape, rather than suppose a gliding round of the whole universe, whose limits are unknown and unknowable? And why not grant that the diurnal rotation is only apparent in the heavens, but real in the earth? It is but as the saying of Aeneas in Virgil, "We sail forth from the harbour, and lands and cities retire." As the ship floats along in the calm, all external things seem to have the motion that is really that of the ship, while those within the ship feel that they and all its contents are at rest. Since, then, there is no reason why the Earth should not possess the power of motion, we must consider whether in fact it has more motions than one, so as to be reckoned as a planet. That the Earth is not the centre of all revolutions is proved by the apparent irregular motions of the planets and the variations in their distances from the Earth. These would be unintelligible if they moved in circles concentric with the Earth. Since, therefore, there are more centres than one, we may discuss whether the centre of the universe is or is not the Earth's centre of gravity. Now, it seems to me gravity is but a natural inclination, bestowed on the parts of bodies by the Creator, so as to combine the parts in the form of a sphere, and thus contribute to their unity and integrity. And we may believe this property present even in the Sun, Moon, and planets, so that thereby they retain their spherical form notwithstanding their various paths. If, therefore, the Earth also has other motions, these must necessarily resemble the many outside motions having a yearly period. For if we transfer the motion of the Sun to the Earth, taking the Sun to be at rest, then morning and evening, risings and settings of stars will be unaffected, while the stationary points, retrogressions and progressions of the planets are due not to their own proper motions, but to that of the Earth which they reflect. Finally, we shall place the Sun himself at the centre of the universe. All this is suggested by the systematic procession of events and the harmony of the whole universe, if only we face the facts, as they say, with both eyes open. We therefore assert that the centre of the Earth, carrying the Moon's path, passes in a great orbit among the other planets in an annual revolution round the Sun, that near the Sun is the centre of the universe, and that whereas the Sun is at rest, any apparent motion of the Sun can be better explained by the motion of the Earth. Yet so great is the universe that though the distance of the Earth from the Sun is not insignificant compared with the size of any other planetary path, in accordance with the ratios of their sizes, it is insignificant compared with the distance of the sphere of the fixed stars. I think it is easier to believe this than to confuse the issue by assuming a vast number of spheres, which those who keep Earth at the centre must do. We thus rather follow nature, who produce nothing vain or superfluous, often prefers to endow one cause with many effects. Though these views are difficult, contrary to expectations, yet in the sequel we shall, God willing, make them abundantly clear, at least to mathematicians. Given the above view, and there is none more reasonable, that the periodic times are proportional to the sizes of the orbits, then the order of the spheres, beginning with the most distant, is as follows. Most distant of all is the sphere of the fixed stars, containing all things, and being therefore itself immovable. It represents that to which the motion and position of all the other bodies must be referred. Some hold that it too changes in some way, but we shall assign another reason for this apparent change, as will appear in the account of the Earth's motion. Next is the planet Saturn, revolving in 30 years. Next comes Jupiter, moving in a 12-year circuit. Then Mars, who goes round in 2 years. The fourth place is held by the annual revolution in which the Earth is contained, together with the orbit of the Moon as on an epicycle. Venus, whose period is 9 months, is in the fifth place. Sixth is Mercury, who goes round in the space of 80 days. In the middle of all sits Sun enthroned. In this most beautiful temple, could we place this luminary in any better position from which he can illuminate the whole at once? He is rightly called the lamp, the mind, the ruler of the universe. Hermes Trismegistus names him the visible god. Sophocles' Electra calls him the all-seeing. So the sun sits as upon a royal throne, ruling his children the planets, which circle round him.